Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this Uxbridge College Virtual Open Day for Computing. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's very good to see so many of you here online. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start this afternoon's session. First of all, you should be all muted when you entered today, but if you are not muted, will you please kindly mute yourselves? If you do have any questions you would like to ask, please use the chat. We encourage you to use the chat, where our curriculum team are here today to answer as many questions for you at the end of the session. So do please ask as many questions as you like. We do want to hear those. This session is being recorded and will be put up on our website after the session, so you can go back and listen to anything that you may have missed today, and also share with anybody that you want to see what we do here at Uxbridge College. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to play you a video of the college about what we do at Uxbridge College, and it's a couple of minutes long, show you a flavour of college life. And now I'd like to welcome our principal, Daryl, to give his personal welcome to you to this virtual open day.
Hello everyone, my name's Daryl. And as principal of Uxbridge College, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome you to this virtual open day session. I'm aware that lockdown has been a difficult time for everyone, and especially so if you've been trying to gain your qualifications this year. And if that is the case, I really do hope it's gone well for you. But now is the time to put next year's plans into action, and this virtual session should help you do exactly that. There are a range of career options open to you. It's worth being aware that Uxbridge College offers some of the widest choice of academic and technical qualifications at various levels to suit your interests and abilities. The college has an excellent track record for success with consistently high performance over more than a decade. Currently, we are the highest performing college in London for 16 to 19 learners. This has been the case for the last 2 years. Moreover, our A-level and English and Maths progress scores are amongst the highest in the country. Our teaching staff are specialists in their areas and bring with them vital industry experience to ensure that learning is relevant and that our learners achieve well. In addition, we have a strong reputation for quality support for our learners, and again, to ensure that they succeed and progress, which they do. We've continually invested in our facilities to ensure these are fit for purpose and to industry standard, and created really excellent social and recreational facilities for our learners when they're not in lessons. Now, our staff are here to help you, and because we have such a wide range of choices, we will assist you in finding a suitable place at the college according to your qualifications and your abilities. But importantly, it'll be on a course that you are interested in and therefore have a best chance of succeeding in. I hope I've given you a little flavour of what's on offer at Uxbridge College, and should you wish to join us, I do encourage you to apply early to secure your place here at the college, and I very much look forward to meeting you and welcoming you in person in September. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, Daryl, for that introduction to Uxbridge College. Just a polite reminder for those who do have their microphones not on mute to please mute them for me. Thank you ever so much. Well, welcome to this virtual open day. And as Daryl did mention in his speech there, we are the #1 college in London, which we're really proud of for the second year in a row for our 16 to 18-year-old achievement. This was confirmed by the Department for Education in March 2020. So if you do decide to come to Uxbridge College, you know you are coming to a very successful environment for learning and a very successful place in the whole of London. So why are we #1 in London? Well, here's a few reasons. First of all, our learners say so. Our students ranked us the #1 college for learner satisfaction in the whole of London. That was the FE Choices survey. So we're really pleased with that result. We're also #1 for our achievement. So across our qualifications, 99% achievement on our substantial qualifications. And what that means is if you come to Uxbridge College, you are in a place where we want you to achieve, and we will get you to achieve your qualification for the future. And speaking of the future, students do go on to great things. So we have many of our learners go on to university, apprenticeships, and also to the workplace. So a real opportunity for you if you come to the college. Just to mention, we are also upcoming to be a West London Institute of Technology. And also we are delivering T-levels in September 2020, which I know the teams will talk about today as well. At Uxbridge College, we do think about you as the whole learner. We think about you with lots and lots of different ways. So we think about your main qualification. So whether that will be, and today we're obviously going to hear about computing. But we also think about your English and maths and your employment skills to get you ready for the workplace. We also do that by offering our learners placement. So all of our learners have the opportunity to go onto a work experience placement. And also all of our learners have the opportunity for enrichment. So that includes having trips, visits, having guest speakers come and talk to you about their experiences. We really want to support and encourage you to work hard and to make sure that you achieve the goals that you've set. At Uxbridge College, we do have some outstanding facilities, and we believe by providing these industry standard facilities, it gives you the right environment for learning. So we have well-equipped classrooms, workshops, studios, and specialist workspaces. And today you're going to hear from our staff at both our Uxbridge and Hayes campuses. Speaking of our staff, we're really proud of the staff that we have at the college, because the staff that we get are highly qualified and they've all come generally from the industry. So the people who are teaching you have actually worked in the industries that you want to go into. So this gives you the skills and knowledge that you need to prepare for what futures you want to have. We're also aware that our students come to Uxbridge College because they want to also as well study, but also meet new people and have new opportunities. And you can certainly do that at our college. You can do that through activities, volunteering and fundraising, as well as the various student social events we hold throughout the year. And it's really important to us that our learners give us feedback about their experiences. And you can share your views through our student union, which is very active to shape your college life. And don't just take our word for it. Ofsted said in their visit to the college in 2019 that our teachers have high expectations for our students, and we know how to help them to learn. And when our students do suffer any problems or have any issues, we know our learners well enough to help them deal with these issues. And I think that's really important. And what we're really proud of is that last sentence there, is that our learners and apprentices are positive about our learning experiences, and they enjoy coming to Uxbridge College. They enjoy learning from us. And I think that's something that really important to us, and I hopefully really important to you. Okay, so I'm now going to hand you over to the curriculum team. I'm going to firstly start with Dan Brown, the section manager.
Hi, thank you, Liam. Yeah, my name is Daniel Brown. I'm the section manager of computing and IT at Hayes campus. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to a number of courses that we have available within the campus. So we could go to the next slide, please. And we have a number of courses from level 1 to level 5. Below are the main progression pathways that we do have. So we're here to help you find the right course for you. At level 1, we have the BTEC Introductory Diploma. Click on to next, please, Liam. It contains a variety of units, including spreadsheets, websites, animation, basic programming, hardware knowledge, including solving technical and IT problems. It's a level 1 course that gives you a good foundation, a good underpinning in the skills necessary to progress on to the further levels that we have in the department. So from there, you can progress on to BTEC Level 2 Extended Diploma Certificate in Information and Creative Technology. This contains a number of units, including website development, database development, software development in Python, and Python is one of the most popular industry languages at the moment, and installing and maintaining computer software. This qualification is equivalent to GCSE level, and from there you have the opportunity to then progress on to level 3. For students not interested in progressing on to university, we offer an alternative route in terms of our City and Guilds. At City and Guilds, we have the level 2 diploma in IT system support. This gives you a good foundation in hardware and software knowledge, including PC building, software installation and maintenance, customer service skills, basic maintenance procedure, and understanding the world of networking. From there, students would then progress onto our C&G level 3 diploma in ICT. This again gives you a good foundation in hardware and software knowledge, as well as introducing some advanced networking concepts that includes things like setting up Active Directory and managing networks. From here, many of our students then progress on to apprenticeships or enter the world of work in roles such as entry-level support roles in IT companies. Alternatively, if you don't progress to the C&G route for level 2, you can move on to our BTEC level 3 foundation diploma. That includes information technology systems, creating systems to manage information, which will be databases, using social media in business, programming, and website development. From there, you can then undertake a top-up year, which is our BTEC level 3 extended diploma in IT, which, if you go to the next option, please, Liam, which covers units such as cybersecurity and incident management, IT service delivery, IT project management, big data and business analytics, the Internet of Things, and IT technical support. Now from there, there's a range of progression options available to you. Many students, because they like our teaching, they like the environment, they want to stay within the department, so they progress on to level 4 HNC and then a level 4 H&D within the department. Alternatively, there's apprenticeship options, both external and internal. We have a number of apprenticeships that we do run, including infrastructure technician and a new one potentially starting next year in software development. Alternatively, you may wish to enter the workplace, but a variety of options available to you, and we've had many students be successful whichever route they choose. The final course that we have in the department is Access to Computing. Now, Access to Computing is intended for mature students over 19 who wish to return to education, upskill, and then progress on to university. Units include website development, Python programming, database design and implementation, network fundamentals, mathematics for computing, writing standard English and examination skills, and how to apply to HE. Now, in recent years, we've had some fantastic outcomes for students who've undertaken the Access programme, with destinations including universities such as Royal Holloway, Nottingham University, and the University of Leeds, Brunel, Reading, and Middlesex. So some really, really positive outcomes for learners. Now, in the next slides, I just want to illustrate some previous students' experiences with some case studies. Zen is a current student who started with us on BTEC Level 1, and he worked his way through BTEC Level 2, and he's currently on our Access programme. And he's doing fantastically well with hoping to progress on to a good university once he's finished. He also was successful undertaking GCSE English whilst with us as part of his study programme. So you will have the opportunity to study English and maths if you haven't secured a grade 4 or above in your previous education. The next case study, this is Marvin. He started on our level 3 C&G course, and he's currently on our infrastructure technician apprenticeship program. And he stated, I strongly recommend anyone wanting to get into the IT industry or wanting to get into an IT apprenticeship, C&G level 3 at Uxbridge College is the way forward. So certainly, if you're thinking that maybe that university or the traditional route isn't something that is for you, we've got the alternative routes. We've got routes leading into apprenticeships and avenues where you can be successful. In the next case study, this is Mona. She started on our level 1 program and she's worked her way through. She's done incredibly well. She stated, my teachers were friendly, helpful, and they encouraged me to do the best in all my units. I'm satisfied with myself because I chose the right course with the best college. Certainly what she said about the team is very much the case. We're here to help. We very much have a desire to work as hard as we can with the students who come to the department to progress them forward in whatever route they take and whatever destination they want to secure. So we work really hard. Hopefully you'll come to the college, you'll work hard, and we'll have some amazing successful outcomes. The final case study is a former student, and I've included this just to illustrate the success that can be achieved after being at Uxbridge College. Nasir was with us. He worked his way all through the progression. He started level 1, level 2, went on to an Access programme, and he's just recently finished his undergraduate degree where he secured a first-class honours degree. And he had a great experience at the college, and he's very thankful of what we were able to provide to him, as illustrated by his comment. The courses at Uxbridge College are a huge success route for those seeking to achieve a higher degree level and educate further. I'm truly grateful and proud to have been part of an outstanding college. So that just illustrates that, you know, we really care about what we do, and we've got great facilities, we've got a great team, and if you do come to Uxbridge College, you've got a fantastic opportunity to progress, a range of routes that you can take, a range of levels that you can start on and then progress from, and you can really achieve success. And I very much hope that you'll be one of the future students that join us at the college and then can achieve with us. What I'd like to do now is pass on to my colleagues, Luke and Chris, who are based at the Uxbridge campus, and they'll discuss the other courses that are available. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chris. And
I'm Luke.
All right, the courses that we have here, so if you start, Liam. Okay, we have the level 1 course for level 1 games. So basically the difference between Uxbridge and Hayes is there's a mixture of different courses on each campus. So in Uxbridge site, we have games stuff, and we have like cybercrime and software development type stuff. So starting at level 1, we have the level 1 course, which is very much an entryway into education, and it not only teaches you stuff about computer game stuff, but it also includes basic skills that you need to progress onto higher level courses. Okay, moving on from there, we've got the level 2 games course, and this course has digital audio, digital animation, graphics, multimedia product design, which we use to develop games. We use software development systems and software development to teach you how to use Python. Okay, the next course here, this one's a brand new course that we're running this year. This is not only teaching you about cybercrime system security and software, but it's also a T-levels transition course. And I'll talk about what T-levels are in a bit. This course here focuses on bringing you up to be able to go on to the cybercrime courses in level 3, the software development courses in level 3, or potentially the T-levels. So it's kind of a bit of broad spectrum. It doesn't include games like our other course, but it's very much professional skills that are in this one. Okay, next one.
Okay, so this is where I'll take over. Essentially, what we've had previous years is several different games courses and different games pathways. We kind of consolidated them this year into one main course, which is delivered by AIM Awards. And this is what we call our Nextgen course. Okay, so this covers all of these kind of units here in terms of things like your fundamental programming skills, which is done in several different programming games engines. So we use things like GameMaker and Unity. You'll start learning the principles of game design, so the theory about how actually games are put together, the kind of story side of it, the character design, okay, all the kind of elements which make up the pre-production before a game is made. Okay, we also start looking at maths as well. If you're not aware, maths is a massive part of games development, especially in the programming side. So it's important that you understand what kind of maths logic is involved in the actual development of games. And these 3 first units are exam-based. Okay, unlike previous years where most things were just coursework based, we're now moving over into this new kind of qualification framework where we're looking at several exams in the course and the rest of it being kind of coursework over the year assessed. Okay, so essentially you'll learn the kind of skills you need for the exams, and then you'll present them later on. Okay. We also do art, so concept art as well, so the fundamentals of drawing, characters, environments, okay, understanding how lighting and color theory works. We also have a little look into the world of VFX. So VFX can be used for games, it can be used for films, industry. And we also start looking at things like the 3D tools that are available for creating 3D models, which again, for film, games, etc. So our main focus with this course is to kind of tie together all aspects of games development. And over 2 years, essentially, you'll be kind of learning what you need for a career in the games industry in the future, which again, one thing to note is the games industry is a very competitive scene. You generally really have to be really passionate about games development and really wanting to have that kind of career pathway progression in the future. Okay, so it's something we push quite a lot on the course, is making sure that you're doing a lot of self-study. Okay, so taking away that what we showed in the lessons is what you're taking home and practicing on the skills. So it's kind of a big workshop push, a big push for portfolio work. Okay, next up. So again, yeah, just this is the second year program. So you start off with the just the general diploma first of all, which is the first year of the course, which then leads on to the extended diploma, which is the 2-year total course, which is equivalent to the 3 A levels. Okay, which then allows you to progress to many different areas. So we start looking at things like putting everything together into a main project. So everything you learned in the first year, learning some new skills in the second year, and we're really looking at the focus of industry standard and professional level of work. Okay, next.
Okay, this is the computing. Oh, sorry, this is the computing course. On the computing course itself, it very much specializes in dealing with software development and programming skills. And it kind of builds on fundamentally from year to year. As you could see when Luke explained the AIM courses, it's a first year program and then it leads on to a second year. Inside of this, you'll get a taste of such languages as C++, C#, and Python. If you move on to the next one. Okay, in the second year, it very much focuses around and runs around project-based work. These courses that I'm talking about at the moment, these BTEC ones, they are this new RQF program, and they include exams, which the exams are quite difficult. And so it's actually a little bit of a higher it's actually just way more difficult to pass. So you have to make sure that if you want to do one of these courses, you have to be focused and learning and writing down notes from the beginning. Okay, if you move on to the next one.
Just before you talk about this, Chris, I just wanted to note that with the cybercrime security and the computing, essentially we put them kind of both together because the units are pretty much the same. The delivery on the courses are what are slightly different. So with computing, it's going to be a lot more focused on just the general programming side and software development, whereas the cybercrime and security will have a lot more focus into the way that networks work and how we can actually secure our systems and understanding what the kind of ethical hacking routes are and kind of how that all ties in with the kind of computing world, essentially. So the courses will be very similar. However, the delivery and content will be different. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is the new course that I was talking about before. This is the T-level. Now, T-levels are slightly different to our normal courses as they require you to have a 45-day work placement per year. The aim of this T-level itself is around software development. So you need to have, well, basically the college will find you a work placement where you can work as part of a team for 45 days within the company. The units that are on this are problem solving, introduction to programming, emerging technologies and digital impact, legislation, regulatory requirements, business context, data, digital environments, basically around hardware and networking, and security. And all of these units, as you can see, sort of different on the presentation itself. This is a 2-year program from the beginning. So you're committed as soon as you start to go the whole 2 years before you get a qualification. Whereas on the qualifications that are above, they're basically you get a qualification after each year. The idea behind these units, they're all exam based. So it requires you basically to be very focused through the year and make sure that you're practicing the work as you go home and try and keep yourself to a very professional standard. The T-levels progression program, the level 2, basically if you complete the level 2 to a decent standard, basically, we can progress you onto this course. If you decide that you want to do a BTEC instead, then you could potentially progress onto a BTEC. Okay, that's what I have to say. Next one.
Yeah, just quickly add on to that. Essentially, the new T-level is a new government scheme which is going to allow us to have much more of an industry-focused based level 3, where you're actually going to be put into the workplace, and over time during that year you'll have a chance to work with employers, gain the industry knowledge and skill set that you'll need, which then should be able to help you kind of pass the exams later on and potentially build those connections which are going to allow you to then work in those companies in the future. So our progression routes generally at the moment are split between the games and the kind of software dev cybercrime side of it. Yeah. Generally, if you start going down the games route, there is an opportunity to switch to the computing or the cybercrime, but preferably it's better if you kind of pick the route that you want to start with to begin with and start going down that route, really knowing what you want to do in the future and kind of deciding from this kind of point on what's your main aim for the future is going to be. Now, all of these lead on to several different types of progression. The first types of progression we have is our BTEC level 4 and 5, which is our H&C/D in creative media production. Okay, so this is going to be for the games pathway. Unlike university courses, what a H&D or H&C offers is more of, again, an industry-based focused practical skill set building across the year. So university is generally a lot more theory-based, Okay, BTEC H&Ds are generally going to be more around the actual practical skill set and learning this, the skills that you need to go into industry. Okay, again, these are taught by people that have experience and can give you the kind of guidance that you need going forward. So again, the kind of topics that we include in this are things like having an individual project, which is set by the examining body and marked by the examining body. Okay, we look at all the different kind of elements of the games industry, developing the skills further from level 3 into kind of a university level course. Okay. Next up as well, we have the a new course which is currently in development. We're going to have more information on this later on, but essentially it's going to be very similar in terms of the focus of industry. However, this time it's going to be the cybercrime and security route. So again, if you're progressing from the level 3, you're not quite sure if you want to go to university or whether or not you think that this more industry-focused practical skill set is going to be more of your choice. This is going to be an option that's going to be available to you in the future. Next, okay. So we have things like progression route to university. We've had pretty much the majority of our students go to university or go onto a BTEC H&D course. Generally, most of the time, everyone gets the qualification that they need to help them progress to things like Bournemouth. We've got things in Teesside as well, which are good, great university courses. And then finally, we've got apprenticeships. Now, apprenticeships is one of those routes where if you're not sure you want to go into university, you want to get straight into the working life, apprenticeships are pretty much where you probably want to go. So this year, we've actually had several students go into several different companies for an apprenticeship. So we had some students going from the computing and the cybercrime into companies such as Google, Capgemini, and Fujitsu UK. So it kind of really gives a good idea about the kind of connections that we have with industry, and it kind of gives you an idea about where potentially you could go in the future, depending on how much dedication you put into the course itself. Okay. So the next kind of couple of slides is just showing off a couple of the creative games development students' work, just kind of give you a visual idea about how they've progressed throughout the year. So this is kind of an example of a student who was doing a level design unit in the old games course. Essentially, the first image is how he started off at the beginning of the year and then how he progressed in the later part of the year from the excellent guidance from all the teachers and kind of understanding the kind of knowledge he needed to take away from the lessons and apply that at home. So again, our main kind of focus and stressing point with a lot of these creative courses, especially the games, is you want to make sure that whatever you're doing in lessons, you're taking away and you're practicing at home. One thing that many students kind of misunderstand about these courses is on a level 3 course, for example, it is a full-time course. This means that generally you should be doing 30 hours of work. So if you're doing 14 or 16 hours inside of lessons, the rest of the week should be focusing on practicing that skill set to make it a full-time course. Now, most of your lecturers and teachers will be starting to push this, okay, further down the line or during the year, just to kind of make sure that you are taking away the theory and the practical knowledge that you learn in lessons, taking it home away with you, and then you practicing those. If you're not doing that, it's going to be tricky for you to kind of start making headway throughout the 2 years. Next. Again, just an example of the type of software we use. We try and make sure we're using all industry standard software. So this is kind of example of level 2 work or level 3 first year work, where they're using the Game Maker software, which essentially allows them to very quickly put together some 2D games with some base concepts learned from the game theory and stuff like that. Now this is more of the H&D level works. This is working with character sculpting and 3D modeling. So this is kind of an example of a student's project from previous years. And again, just kind of showcasing some of the stuff you might do with the concept art as well, if you're going to try and focus more on that kind of pathway going forward in the future. Okay, passing over to who? Dan, this is yours.
Okay, thank you ever so much to the computing team there. I'm just going to pick that last slide up for them, just to say there was a case study there from a student who came to the college, and you can see there that had lots of support from their teachers and emphasized the word quality teaching there and enjoyed their course, and would recommend Uxbridge College to start your future. So thank you to the team there, Dan, Luke and Chris, for talking to you all this afternoon. I just wanted to say, I've already put in the chat, but if you have any questions, please do ask them now, and we will answer them at the end of the session. Okay, so while before I talk about how you do apply onto the courses, I want to talk about the fantastic support that's on offer at Uxbridge College for you. Now, we have an amazing information advice and guidance team at Uxbridge College who can support students with advice about getting onto the courses, but also when they're on the courses, how to get part-time work, how to progress to the future, how to go to university, and also complete your UCAS statements. So when you do come to the college, you will not be alone. You can speak to people to get that really key advice and guidance. If you're a student and you do have a special educational need, or think you may need some extra support in the classroom, please do contact us in advance, because we have a very experienced learning support team who will be able to support you with anything that you need ahead of the course. And it's really important that you do let us know in advance so we can make that transition for you as seamless as possible and get things set up for you as they should be from the beginning. We've also got a really well-renowned personal welfare support team at the college that support our students with any issues that may occur. We all know that sometimes we have problems. So there is people you can go to and speak to that you can ask lots of questions and get lots of support. We also have a financial support team at the college that provides students with bursaries. So you have access to a bursary if you are eligible for free school meals. Finally, we have two learning resource centres, one at Uxbridge campus, one at Hayes campus. And within those learning resource centres, we have a fantastic study skills team who can support you academically with how to do your studying, your research, but also how to write your assignments, to deliver your presentations. So lots of opportunities for you to be supported at the college. Okay, before we talk about the applications, I can see that we have a few questions here. So I am going to get those, and I can see Chris has already answered them. I'm just going to put them out for the benefit of everybody watching this afternoon. So Marwa has asked, how long does it take to finish level 1 to level 3? And Chris, if you could just, I know you've written it in the chat, if you could just answer that for me, that'd be great.
It really depends at what level you're qualified to start at. Level 1 courses are for people that tend to not get good GCSE results. Level 2 is when you're getting grades like 3 or above. If you're getting grades 4 or above, you're typically more suitable to join a level 3 course. So level 1 is basically a 1-year program. Level 2 is a 1-year program, and then level 3 is a 2-year program. You don't have to do level 1 to level 3. It's just literally what you're suitable for is where you connect onto. For the other question about the level 1, is the level 1 full-time Monday to Friday? Your timetable will be typically 4 days within a standard week, but they may vary due to like timetabling. Sometimes you might start at 9 o'clock and typically finish around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes you might start at 12 o'clock and finish around 5, and it can vary.
Thank you, Chris. Another question that's come in is a student wants to learn basic computer for office work. Do we have that availability at the college? I'm going to ask Dan to answer that question.
That's not really kind of the remit of our full-time courses, just in terms of basic office work. That would be more akin to possibly researching options around part-time courses with things like ECDL, but unfortunately we don't presently run ECDL within our department at present.
No, and thank you. I think also just to say that that if anybody is looking to do office work, please do check from time to time the Uxbridge College website for our part-time courses, our commercial courses, because there are sometimes some Microsoft Office courses on there which are not run by the computing school, but they are run by the college. So please do check our part-time offer. Thank you, Dan, for that. I have got quite a few questions here, so I am going to select some of them here. Question, Luke, if you could answer this for me. Do I need to do English and maths?
That is really going to depend on the qualifications that you're coming in with. So if you do not have a English and Maths qualification at least a 4, you will be asked to redo the English and Maths again at the same time as the course that you've chosen to do. So if you're doing a level 1, 2 or 3, etc., you'll also have to take English and Maths alongside that as well. And it is a requirement, it is a government requirement. So it's just kind of a little thing to make sure you understand that those hours will be added onto your course hours as well.
Thank you. I'm going to ask to any of my colleagues just to answer this next question. I'm going to combine them. So I'm doing ESOL entry 3. Can I do computing? Can I do this course? So
I'll take that one. We have lots of students that progress onto from ESOL onto our level 1 program. So the entry requirements for our level 1 course are E3 in English and Maths. But in terms of, if you make an application and further discussion could be had at an interview, but certainly it's a standard progression path. And in fact, one of the case studies that I showed you earlier on in the presentation, one of the students did actually begin in ESOL. And it was the student who ended up securing a first-class university degree after progressing all the way through. So it is possible, yes.
Thank you for that. 2 more questions. One question here: can I do level 2 with no maths GCSE?
It depends what you mean by no maths GCSE. Does it mean you haven't got one at all, or you haven't secured a certain grade, a higher grade? Because it depends on your specific circumstances. But the actual entry requirements for level 2 is a grade 3 and above, generally in maths. But we would always consider applications as an overall view. So we potentially would consider lower than that, but it depends on what other qualifications you have and what other experience you have. But certainly I do recommend that you do make an application, and we can discuss specifically your individual circumstances.
And just to add on to that, sorry, Liam, on our college website, if you are going to apply and you're looking at the courses that are there available to you, it does tell you which of the entry requirements are for each of the different levels. So depending on what type of qualification you have, it should give you an idea about what level you can go in at, and whether or not that course would be suitable for you. Again, even if you are applying, you don't really have the grades, it's good to apply anyway, just so we can have a talk with you and kind of see which progression route you could start off with. So again, if you don't have the grades available to you at the moment, it's good to always apply anyway, just to kind of have a talk with us and get a good starting point from there.
Brilliant, thank you. And Dan, I'll answer this as well. The question about maths GCSE was, the student had a grade 3 in maths, so can they do level 2?
Oh, the answer is yes and yes.
The answer, yeah. But as Luke said, and I will talk about the application process in a moment, please do, if you have any questions, please do apply, because obviously this will be based on your interview with the team. Two more questions here. What course do you recommend if I've done level 3 BTEC already and want to upskill during my gap year to go to university next year?
Well, there's potential funding issues around that, with whether you'd be funded to do a second level 3. So there'll be issues to consider there. But ultimately, there are possibilities around access potentially, but the question would be, might it be more pertinent for you to go on to a level 4 at this stage instead of just doing a level 3? It's possibly likely that maybe a level 4 with us would be the option if you wanted to still come to us. And as we've discussed in the presentation earlier, there are level 4 HNCs available at both campuses in different disciplines. But we need to kind of have a detailed discussion around that. So I possibly recommend applying for our level 4, and then we can have a detailed discussion around that interview.
Thank you. And for the person who did ask that question, I will bring this up at the end, but I would recommend contacting our careers team and our information advice and guidance team to have that conversation and to see what we can offer you, as Dan mentioned there. And the final question, and then I'm going to move on. Obviously, we have got more questions. I will answer them at the end. Will the lessons be at college or online in September? I will ask Dan to answer that question.
The simple answer at the moment is we can't categorically say either way. At the moment, we are planning to have the sessions run within the college. I'm in the process of planning for that at the moment. So as it stands, we plan to be running the college, but with the circumstances as they are right now, we can't be 100% sure. It may possibly be a mixed model where there is some contact time and some online delivery. But as I said, because of the circumstances at the moment, with what's happening with the pandemic, we can't categorically say.
No, thank you. I'm conscious of there are some other questions, and we do need to finish this up before the time because we do have another virtual open day. But I will try and answer those questions as quickly as possible at the end of the session. Thank you. And also, if colleagues can see those questions and are able to answer them while I go through the next bit, that would be great. So thank you, colleagues, for answering those questions, and thank you for asking your questions. Just to say, obviously, as the team did mention there, please do apply online. It is the quickest and easiest way for you to apply. So you can select your course and click on the orange apply button. And once you've done that, you will create an application account. And what that account will allow you to do is keep logging back in so you can view your details and update your information. Please don't worry, this doesn't take very long to complete. And once you have completed it, we will be in contact with you to explain the next steps of the process. Just to say, we are not doing any on-campus interviews at the moment, so everything will be taking place on the internet at the current time. If you would prefer to download the application form, you can do, and you can post it or email it to us, whatever you prefer. So if you've seen this presentation today and you would like a bit more information, then here is what you can do to get that information. First of all, you can contact our careers team on 01895 853333, or you can email us at inquiries@uxbridgecollege.ac.uk. Also, you can go onto our website, which you can find more information about our courses, which is www.uxbridgecollege.ac.uk. I'd like to thank you for attending today. I am going to just finish these questions. I've got 30 seconds, so I'm just going to finish these questions here. If I apply to the course, should I get a student loan? Obviously, if you're talking about H&C and H&D courses, yes, you can, but obviously that is dependent on you as an individual. I don't know if anybody from the curriculum team wants to pick up that question.
It really depends on what your circumstances are. So without information, it's difficult to add beyond what Liam said. Level 4 and level 5 would you need to have a student loan unless you were paying for the course for yourself. At the Access program, you could apply for a loan that then you wouldn't have to pay for back. You would have to pay back if you secured a place at university. But depending on your individual circumstances, it's unlikely that you would need to pay for levels 1 to 3, but it does depend on your individual circumstances. We can't categorically say without further information. But the important thing is to start making an application now, and then we'll be able to inform you exactly according to your own personal circumstances.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I'm going to curtail, the last question is going to curtail them all together, and I think there was a question from Faizan, will I do work experience on the course? Yes, you will do work experience, generally depending on what course you do, depending on the type of placement you do. As Chris mentioned, T-levels, there will be a 45-day placement across the 2 years. But yes, we encourage all of our learners to go on work experience. And just to put all this question, Dwayne asked a question, what is the process for students that did not take GCSEs because of COVID? And also, do I need to pay for the course? Just to reiterate, it is really dependent on your individual circumstance and who you are and lots of other things that we take into play. So I would encourage you, to contact us, and I'm going to bring that slide up again that we've just mentioned, because that slide will give you all the information and of where to contact. So I'm going to bring that up one more time for you. But also, please do apply, because when you have an interview, we can have these conversations with you. It is very individual about your circumstances and who you are. Course staff, is there anything else you'd like to add here?
Again, the main point is, depending on circumstances, it's best to kind of get in contact with us so we can actually get a better idea about who you are, where you want to go, what kind of options are available to you. And that's either going to be done by the interview process from applying, or contact inquiries, which then they will direct it to us and we can kind of email you back or call you back on a more personal basis.
And I'd just like to add that we're a great college, good staff. You know, come here and you'll achieve. So apply.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that. And thank you everybody for attending today. And thank you again to the staff for being on this, for answering the questions. And we wish you all the best in these times of health and safety. Hope to see you in September. And as I said, please contact us if you have any other questions. I am now going to stop this. Thank you, everybody.